Here bringing you the IM3 2.4 Extra Practice Number 4 solutions on factoring trinomials advanced problems. This one's got a riddle that goes with it, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. Here's the puzzle that goes with this extra practice. The riddle is, what did Mrs. Zling say when Mr. Zling said he was going mountain climbing in the Himalayas? And the idea here is we have these 10 trinomials that we have to factor, and when we factor them we have to find both factors in the rectangles below and then cross out the two boxes where you find them. So for example, if I do number 1 and I figure out that the TH and PA boxes have my answers, I would cross those two out. At the end of all this, when we've crossed out, I guess, 20 of these things, whatever's left over ought to spell out the answer. So here we go. So for this problem and all the problems really in this lesson, we're going to be using the AC method in order to factor. You could use guess and check, and if that works for you, then more power to you. But I like AC because it's a more systematic way of doing things that always gets me the answer in about the same amount of time. So now, to start this off, I have to do 6 times 3, the A times the C value. That gives me an 18. And now I'm looking for factors of 18 that add up to 19, that middle coefficient. So that would be 1 and 18. So what I'm going to do with 1 and 18 is I'm going to split up this 19x into a 1x plus 18x in the middle of everything. And then I'll use factoring by grouping since I now have 4 terms. For my first 2 terms, I can take out an x. That leaves me with 6x plus 1. And then I can take out, for the next 2, I can take out a 3, leaving me with x, or 6x rather, plus 1 again. The 6x plus 1 can all come out as a common factor, and then I've got x plus 3 left over in my next factor. So finding that in this massive grid below, remember I have to cross off whatever letters have these answers. I see 6x plus 1 right there, so I can cross that off. And the x plus 3, just going a little further, is right here. So there we go. 2 of them already crossed off. All right, let me keep going and do this next problem. My AC value on this one, we're going to have 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. So factors of negative 10 that add up to negative 9, well, 1 and negative 10 would do the job there. So I can split this up into a 1x minus 10x instead of 9x. And then for my first 2 terms, I can factor an x out of all that, leaving me with 5x plus 1. For the next 2 terms, now the third term is negative, so I'm going to definitely take out a negative. Out of 10 and 2, I can take out a negative 2. That leaves me with a positive 5x and a plus 1. So 5x plus 1, that can all come out as a common factor. And then my other factors, the x and the minus 2 that are left over. So let me look through here for 5x plus 1. Here's 5x plus 1 right there. And then my x minus 2 is all the way down here. There we are. For number 3, 9 times 4 is going to give me an AC value of 36. And there's a lot of factors of 36, so we're hoping we can find ours quickly. We're trying to add up to 15 with our 36 factors. So 1 and 36 won't work. 2 times 18 doesn't work, but it's better. How about 3 times 12? 3 plus 12 is 15, so that works. So I'll split this up into a 3x plus 12x. Using some grouping, I've got a 3x that I can take out of those first 2 terms. So 9x squared divided by 3x is also 3x. And then we'll have a plus 1 for the other 3x there. For the last 2 terms, I can take a 4 out of both of those. So that is also 3x plus 1. So 3x plus 1 comes out as a common factor. And then we have 3x plus 4 left over. 3x plus 1, where am I seeing that here? I'm looking for either one of these. So scanning down here, I think that's 3x plus 4 right down there. But where was 3x plus 1? 3x, right there at the top. I just missed it. So there's that one. There's the other one down there. And we're done with this one. For this one, I have an AC value of 7 times negative 8, so negative 56. So then I need factors of negative 56 that add up to positive 1. Well, I almost had the factors right in the beginning when I multiplied 7 times 8, because if I had negative 7 and positive 8, that would add up to positive 1. So let me split this up into minus 7x plus 8x. And now going with some grouping, my first two terms, I can take a 7x out of both of those, leaving me with just x minus 1. And then I can take an 8 out of the next two. That leaves me with an x minus 1 again. So I've got x minus 1 is one of my factors, and then 7x plus 8 is the other one. So looking for either of those down below, x minus 1 is all the way down here at the end, and I also have 7x plus 8 somewhere in here, hopefully, right here in the corner. So I've got x minus 1 getting crossed off, and then all the way back here at 7x plus 8. Next one looks a little bit scary. I've got some big numbers here, especially with that 21. But let me use my AC method. 2 times 40 gives me 80. So now I need factors of 80 that add up to 21. And there's a lot of factors of 80. 1 and 80 doesn't do it. 2 times 40 is not going to work. How about 4 and 10? Or not 4 and 10, 4 and 20. That would add up to 24. So I'm getting close. Does 5 go into 80? It does actually. 16 times. So if I did 5 plus 16, that would add up to 21. So let me do negative for both of those. So we'll use negative 5x and negative 16x to make that split in the middle. And then for my grouping, my first two terms, I can take out an x. That leaves me with 2x minus 5. And then for the next two, I can take out a negative because my third term's negative. And for 16 and 40, I think 8 is as good as it's going to get. So I've got negative 8 coming out, leaving me with a 2 and a minus 5 there, 2x minus 5. So it looks like 2x minus 5 can come out. And then x minus 8 is my other factor. 2x minus 5, I see it more or less right away, right there. So that's good. And then x minus 8, where's that one going to be? Scanning through my list, let me see here. Nope. Is it down? There it is, right down there toward the bottom. All right. For number 6, we're having an AC value of 15 times 6, which is 90. So I need factors of 90 that are going to add up to 19. And I can think of these pretty quickly here. 90, that's 9 times 10 is one possible way of getting that. That's the easiest way. And that 9 and 10 does add up to 19. So I didn't have to work super hard to get those. So we have a plus 9m, we're using m's now, and a plus 10m in the middle. For my first two terms, using some grouping, 15 and 9, I can take out a 3 and also an m. So 15m squared divided by 3m, that's going to be a 5m. 9m divided by 3m gives me a plus 3 inside there. And now the next two, I can take out a 2, leaving me with a 5m plus 3. So 5m plus 3 can come out of everything, and then 3m plus 2 is the other factor. Looking here for 5m plus 3, there it is, sort of in the middle. And then is there a 3m plus 2 up there anywhere? Let me think here. Cycling through, 3m plus 2, 3m, there it is, right there. Okay, got it. For this next one, I have an AC value of 8 times negative 3, so negative 24. And I need factors of negative 24 that add up to negative 5. 1 and 24 doesn't work. 2 and 12 won't get me a 5. 3 and 8 will get me a negative 5 if I do positive 3 minus 8. So I have a plus 3m minus 8m if I split that up. Doing some grouping, for my first two terms, I can take, well, all I can take out of there is an m. That leaves me with 8m plus 3. So didn't really take much out. This next one, I can't really take anything out either other than a negative 1. So that leaves me with a positive 8m plus 3. And that's fine because I have two of those. So I can factor 8m plus 3 out as a common factor. And then m minus 1 is the other one. So 8m plus 3. That ought to be pretty easy to spot. That's right down there. And then m minus 1 is also down in that bottom row right there. For number 8, let me get the AC value for this one. 4 times 18, that's giving me 72. And then I need factors of 72 that add up to negative 17. 1 and 72 doesn't work. 2 and 36 doesn't work. 3 and what? I think 3 and 24. Also not going to get me to negative 17. 4 times 18, which I remember because that's how I got 72. That doesn't get 17. 5 doesn't go into 72. 6 goes in there 12 times. That gets me an 18 if I add them, but I need to get 17. So what else can I use? 8 and 9. Oh, yeah, 8 and 9. That adds up to 17. So negative 8, negative 9. So I have 4m squared minus 8m minus 9m for that middle term, and then the 18 is still there. Now I can go to grouping since I've got 4 terms. So I've got a 4 and an m that I can take out of those first 2 terms, leaving me with an m minus 2. For the next couple there, I'll take out a negative 9 to be specific. That leaves me with an m and a minus 2. So then m minus 2 comes out of all of it. And we have a 4m minus 9 as well to go with my m minus 2. And let's see here. That's going to be 4m minus 9. Where is that? It's got to be here somewhere. Right at the beginning. I've just passed over it. And then m minus 2 right there. All right, for this next problem, we have an AC value of 14 times negative 22, whatever that is. Let me go to the calculator and figure that out. All right, so we have 14 times negative 22. That's coming out to negative 308. So then we have AC of negative 308, and now I am looking for factors of negative 308 that add up to 17. I'm going to go back to the calculator for this because I don't really know too many factors of 308. So back on the calculator, looking for factors of 308 that add up to 17. Well, 1 and 308 definitely won't work. 308 divided by 2, 154 and 2 doesn't work. 308 is not divisible by 3 because the digits don't add up to a multiple of 3. How about 4? 308 divided by 4. 77. 4 and 77 will not get me 17. 5 won't work. 6 won't work because 3 didn't. 7. Let's see if 7 works. 7 does actually work, but 7 and 44 will not get me to 17. All right. Let's see. 8 might work. I don't know. Let's see. Nope, not quite. 9 won't work because 3 didn't work. 10 doesn't work. 11. 308 divided by 11. It's worth a shot. Oh, it does work. So we have 11 and 28. So if I want to get to 17, and they have to be opposite signs because it was negative 308 that they have to multiply to, then if I have negative 11 and positive 28, that should do the job. All right then, so let me split this up into negative 11m and positive 28m. And now using some grouping on each of these, I can take an m out of the first 2. That leaves me with 14m minus 11. For the next 2, I've got a 2 coming out of those. So that's going to be 14m minus 11. Then I can take 14m minus 11 out of everything, leaving me with m plus 2 left over there. 14m minus 11, that's right there. I can cross that off. And m plus 2 is down here toward the center. Let me cross that off. And it's on to the next problem. And so finally, we come to the final problem. We're going to cross off 2 more of these, and hopefully it all spells out something intelligible. So for the AC on this one, 3 times negative 30 is negative 90. Then I've got numbers that multiply to negative 90 and add up to negative 1. Well, let's see here. 1 and 90 doesn't work. 2 and 45, no. 3 and 30, no. 4 doesn't even go into that. 5 and 18 is not going to do it. 6 and 15, I believe, getting closer. 9 and 10, how about that? If we have positive 9, negative 10, that adds up to negative 1. So let me make this plus 9m minus 10m. And then for the first two, using some grouping, we can take a 3m out of those. That's going to be an m plus 3m, or 3 rather, left over. For the next two, we can take out a negative 10, leaving me with an m and a plus 3. So m plus 3 is one of my factors. 3m minus 10 is the other. There is 3m minus 10, so I'll cross that off in a sec. The m plus 3 is down here, and then 3m minus 10 also going away. All right, we've crossed off everything we could. It is time to solve the riddle. What did Mrs. Zling say when Mr. Zling said he was going mountain climbing in the Himalayas? So we have a do and then a yo. I'm thinking do is our first word. And then yo, do yo. I don't think yo is going to be a word. But we have a uw next. Probably not all one word. I think you is the next word, like at do you. All right. So then w is probably the beginning of the next one. We have a w, we have an a and an n. Wan. I mean, that's a word, but probably not what we want. We have a tt. Probably only one of those t's goes with the wa end to give us want. And then this other t is part of the next word. So the next word, we have an ib, so tib. That still doesn't really spell anything. We have an et is the last one. tibet. Oh, that spells Tibet. Do you want Tibet? Oh, I see what they did there. Because Tibet is in the Himalayas, but Mrs. Zling probably doesn't want Mr. Zling going mountain climbing at all. You want to bet? All right. Well, I don't want to bet against Mrs. Zling. Till next time, Mr. Sutton signing off.